Yo, what is up? Just finished the update. I'm going to check out the new game mode. Just make sure my button assignments are on. Yeah, sword stick. I'm going to go through some of the patch details as well in this video. So I just finished the download. It was about 2.5 gig. This is the new game mode that we're checking out, which is Jetpack Cargo. It's meant to be a fast-paced sort of game mode with jets and rockets, but it's only on for a limited amount of time. So I guess check it out while you can. So you can play as any of the jet troopers. It's going to be chaos. Everyone's a jet trooper in there. They've also added some arcade locations. So Kashyyyk, Hoth, Endor, Crate, Jakku, and the Death Star. They're now going to be part of the arcade mode. So if you guys like the arcade mode, it's going to be also. I think they made some changes to the AI as well. So they're meant to be improved AI. There was a couple of random things where the AIs were actually just like meleeing each other instead of I don't know, random glitches like that. Let's get some people in here. I guess there's still people haven't updated yet, so not many people are going to be on the servers. I just finished making an update video as well, which is rendering in the background, so let me know if the stream's stuttering at all. My CPU is at 94% at the moment, so hopefully it doesn't go too high. I did lower the bitrate for this video, so it's not as demanding. Just waiting to get into a game now. I would have thought there'd be more people on. Well, might as well go over some more of the patch notes. Alright, so in Heroes and Villains, we got some balancing, like Boba Fett. He's increased his maneuverability, so the efficiency at a distance with the EA3 is probably going to be improved now. If you guys were having problems shooting while flying as well, sometimes that was an issue, and yeah, definitely at range the EA3 needed to be a bit more buffed, so that jetpack control has been improved. So the EE3 has reduced the minimum dispersion from an angle of 0.6 to 0.4 and reduced the maximum dispersion from 1.2 to 0.8. I'm gonna maybe quit this lobby and just rejoin. While I'm in the main screen, I might as well show you another thing they've changed in terms of the milestones and the progression system. Well, not really the progression system, but yeah, with the milestones, they've sort of put the ones that you've completed all the way to the bottom, and then the ones that you're still working on higher to the top. They certainly haven't fixed the loading times in this game though. They've increased the damage drop-off for Boba Fett as well. The distance is now going to be 20 meters instead of 15 meters, so that should give him better range as well. So yeah, in the career section, you'll see all of these milestones now. Like if you go into one, down the bottom should be the ones that you've completed. Yeah, I don't know, not much difference. They've also made it so that they automatically collect your reward instead of... Now to get to the new game mode is just from the home screen and this main big tile here. Click on that. Yeah, so if you complete a challenge now, they're going to be automatically, you know, the reward's going to be automatically added. Oh, my CPU's getting so high. I'm like halfway through rendering a video at the same time. Versio, she had the stun droid that was pretty difficult to predict, so they made it a little bit snappier, like the feel, it should be a bit more snappier, and that should be a significant improvement to Iden. But I did notice they've also reduced the damage from 40 to 50. Reduced the damage from 40 to 50. I'd say that's increased. Yeah, the droid stun, reduce the time for the ability activation and shock. Alright, so in the new game mode now, everyone's stormtroopers, I mean rocket troopers. And obviously it's the old mode from 2015 Battlefront, cargo. So old mate here's got the cargo. We've got to defend our area. Oh, I'm trying to do so much at once. So I guess this area we got to defend. That huge beam is where we got to get ours. Well, I don't think anyone's defending, so let's go have a look at this. Just get some camping going. Kind of looks cool though, the huge beams in the sky, marking out the points. It's pretty easy to get to. People are going to come from all angles. What else can I discard here? They made some changes to Bosk, his weapons. So the Railby V10, they reduced the recoil, so the recoil was pretty bad with that. And they also changed the animation a little bit, so it's a little bit easy to deal with. Corner. They changed his traps as well. So Bosk has got the explosive traps reduced his damage only slightly, and they fixed the blast damage radius to fit the star cards. So they weren't actually lining up with the star cards, if you noticed that sometimes. Oh, that was fucking atrocious. It's going to be worthwhile upgrading your rocket troopers if you enjoy this game mode. Oh. I have to cut this bloke off. Trying to get in between him and the target. Oh, the animations are retarded. Oh, I don't want to try that rifle. Oh, so many rockets. I got one. Sucks. Can be lots of vertical flanks. Where are you going? Oh my god. I'm doing shocking now. Alright. Ray's mind control has got a bit of a nerf. So they reduced the control radius from 20 to 18 meters. And her insight ability has also been reduced, the radius from 50 to 30. Her farsight ability has been reduced, the bonus by 10%. So it's now, for each upgrade, it's going to be 10, 20, 30 and 40% respectively when you upgrade it. Kylo Ren, his pull ability has been reduced in the recharge time from 25 to 20 seconds, so that pull ability is going to be used a lot more often now, without a huge cooldown. The freeze ability, the frenzy ability, that recharge time is now reduced as well, but only by 1 second, so whoop-de-doo. Kylo Ren now has 40% damage absorption while the frenzy is active as well. So when you're getting close up inside, you know, you're gonna take less damage. Now this is what I'm excited for. If you remember the Luke from Battlefront 2015, was always a lot more agile, like traversing real fast and jumping off things, and it almost felt like he was sprinting everywhere. So they've increased the sprint speed for Luke, and a quote from the patch note says, "Increased his sprint speed as much as possible without breaking the animation." So that's going to be interesting. And the specifics of that are, his sprint speed is now more than half a meter a second increased. So they've increased it by 0.6 of a meter per second. His health has also gone from 700 to 750, so he'll have a slight more amount of health. And then they've decreased the regeneration delay from 5 to 2.7. So yeah, almost halved that regeneration and given him an extra 50 health. And then they've increased his speed, decreased his max regeneration amount from 250 to 200. I think Luke might be the next OP character, and he's probably going to be more fun to use. So if you've been upgrading Luke and you like playing as Luke, well, now he's even better. Next I'll go over some of Palpatine's buffs. They're basically, I don't think they've buffed him, I don't think they've nerfed him enough. They actually changed. So obviously the main thing that they've done is they've changed his abilities so they don't go through walls now. So both of his Dark Aura ability and his Lightning Strikes, they're not going to go through walls. But what they have done is increase the range. Oh my god. Slightly increase the range from 12 to 14 meters to compensate for tighter collision check. So yeah, you're gonna need to have line of sight to use those lightning and aura abilities now, which is good, but I think they probably should have addressed his recharge delay a little bit, I'd say. When you aim down sights with these weapons, they move around so slow. Getting absolutely wrecked again. I'm gonna do some defending now, I think.
Joe Whitley, what's up, buddy? Finally up early enough to catch you live.
Yeah, nice, man. What up? I'm just going over some of the new patch notes while playing the new game mode. You have it, mate. Let's go. Direct hit. That was good. Now there's some of the changes to Chewie. So they've reduced his bowcaster projectile damage, the side ones as well as the middle one. Not by a bunch, but the stun grenade is the main thing that they've changed for Chewie, because he had one of the longest stuns in the game actually. Yeah, so that's kind of good. They've reduced that, and I think they've reduced it by 0.4 seconds. So yeah, 1.6 to 1 second now. So they've actually reduced by 6.6. Significant nerf, but it definitely was needed. Yoda's got some changes as well. His barrier ability will now immobilize effects, so on activation. So we'll break the immobilizing effects. So if you're getting immobilized as Yoda and you use that ability, that's going to break free from those. They made a couple of changes to his unleash ability as well, but they're just relatively minor. Oh, what up? We're about to lose. This is atrocious. GG, 3 losses in a row. They made some changes to Lando. They've increased his effectiveness against lightsaber wielding heroes. So the best tool that he had against them now has a 25-second cooldown. And to combat for that, they've slightly reduced the cooldown of his disruptor and smoke grenade. So they've reduced the recharge time of Disruptor from 25 to 19 seconds. And yeah, the smoke grenade is reduced, reduced recharge time from 15 to 14 seconds. Focus Rage for Darth Vader has been changed as well, so he receives 200 temporary bonus health when activating his Focus Range ability. But they've reduced his baseline max health from 900 down to 800. So you lose 100 on your base health, and then now if you activate that Focus Rage ability, you're going to get an extra 200 temporary bonus health. And I'm assuming that runs out when the ability is deactivated, or when it's finished. They made some changes to Phasma. The staff obviously needed to be buffed, or at least changed so it's more satisfying to use, because it was almost a useless ability in my opinion. So they've increased the animation speed of the ability, and they've increased the transition speeds between each strike. So that should feel faster and more fluid now. Heroes and villains, they've done a bunch of bug fixes. Some of the main ones, maximum stun duration is now 5 seconds. So yeah, that's interesting actually. That's still a long time to be stunned. They'd fixed an issue where you'd be in a stun state forever until you die. This is another fix they've done to Boba Fett. So sometimes when you're using his jetpack ability while for the hunt the ability was activated, then if you didn't have any fuel before you activated that ability, you wouldn't be able to use your jetpack while that ability was active. So the idea of that ability is, while it's active, it's not using any fuel. You can just fly around and it doesn't use fuel. But yeah, in this case, if you don't have any fuel in your jetpack and then you use it, you'll still be able to fly around. Which I don't think is a big deal either way, because I sort of thought that was an interesting thing. Like, I'd be looking down at my jetpack and see how much fuel's left, and if I knew that I was about to run out, I would use that ability right before the end. So that sort of introduced a little bit more skill, or not skill, but like just another thing to think about when you're doing that. Yoda's Enduring the Force ability will now apply the proper amount of bonus time. So I think that's something to do with one of the star cards. If you equipped that, then you weren't getting the proper amount of bonus time for him. Master of the Force ability for Yoda. This ability will no longer damage players inconsistently and only when released at a maximum power. Finn, the Deadeye ability. I want to read this one. So the targeting crosshair should be properly removed after the ability has been used. Okay, that's not a big deal.
Target's coming in.
Oh. Oh, hi there. I don't want to be the only one back. Oh. Unbelievable. It sucks. I can imagine people are going to get crazy good at this though. It's going to be really fast paced.
Get ready to fight.
There's hardly anyone in the server. Changed the dodge ability, like the rolling effect. I think this is mainly going to be for heroes and villains, because when you got lightsaber wielding heroes attacking you, and you could just roll out of the way and sort of avoid taking damage. So they made some pretty significant changes to this. They haven't like gotten rid of that glitch at all completely, but they've sort of reduced the amount of benefits that you get from it. So they've added unstaggerable window during this set period. So I guess what they're trying to say is that when you use that ability, you're going to have to sort of time it. So it'll still have that effect. It'll just be a smaller window where you'll be able to use that, and you can time that ability in that roll sequence in order to avoid taking damage. You'll still receive this, yeah. So you'll still receive the same benefits in that window, but you have a narrower amount of time to do that. All the troopers now have 2 default emotes, so if you didn't have any unlocked, you'll be able to equip those to start off with. Sort of, a lot of people didn't have any. I think that's a big deal, not really, but they've reduced the time it takes until you can shoot after executing a melee attack. So that's kind of good. I really do hate getting stuck in animations and not being able to do things. Like you can think faster than you can activate the animations, so you already know what you want to do next. You have to wait for one animation to finish before you can start doing it. With the last patch, they quite heavily nerfed the sentry on the heavy class, and they've sort of reverted back a little bit, which is definitely good. I was hoping they'd do that with this patch because the last nerf was way too much. So that's 1.5 now instead of 0.17. Which doesn't sound like it's much, but it definitely made a difference in the last patch. Oh. Now you start away from the defend area. Like that. Oh, that was nice. I like this concept of leading your shots. Nice. Ah, a bit glitchy. I like to jump right before you boost up. Gets you that little bit extra. Is anyone picking that up? Don't know why that took so long. I'm really not good at this game mode. Fucking hell. They changed some of the location design and balance changes for the maps. This is mainly for Galactic Assault, like where one team's attacking and the other team's defending. And some of the map designs were very one-sided. It would often result in the same end result for multiple games. So they try and balance that out. Oh my god, no one's going for it. Do my rockets not fucking work? Like Camino, for example, they've made it easier for the attackers. When you play that, it's often very hard and one-sided. I mean, you do get to play on both sides, but I think it should be more even anyway. Huh. No problem. Oh. GG. They've changed a bunch of location design and bug fixes, general improvements and bug fixes as well. Like they've increased the credit payout for duplicate items, which is good. Increased the there's probability changes for the BI battle droids for 20% and 40%. So this is dismemberment probability. So you're now double as likely to get dismembered as the B1 battle droid. Improved the glow, thickness and lighting of lightsabers. That's very important. Biggest thing of this patch for sure. The U-wing, when firing from the gunner position, the gun, muzzle flash and blaster bolt are now shown properly. At the end of round, they fixed an issue with the map, would sometimes overlap into the video and in Starfighter Assault. One of the other things they changed is Darth Vader's choke. So if you're a victim of Darth Vader's choke, sometimes the camera would just wobble and wobble around. Hopefully that's not going to happen anymore. Delivering that, bro. Nice. Stuck in here. Out of the way, boy. What are you doing? Direct shot to the head. rifle. Chaos on that roof. Really not a good spot. Be chilling with the pack. That seems odd. I don't know where anyone is. I might just go over some of these last details and then I'll end the stream. So they fixed an issue where players wouldn't receive any score for grenade kills after their character had died. There was another issue where you could survive being knocked down from a platform in Heroes and Villains, so especially if you were the target, you'd be able to sit down there until your team got rid of the opposition target, which is not ideal. Various bug fixes in Arcade, and they also improved the UI bug fixes. So yeah, I'm gonna have a video up on that in not too long, just waiting for it to finish rendering. Anyway, that'll be it. Peace out.